What's up, everybody? MTSI. Let's talk about it. Yeah, sorry, I had to look over there. All right, so I need to get myself one of them little like stream decks. Let's move me over here, get out of the way a little bit. Grab my headphones. Make sure we don't sound too silly. Leave one ear off just in case I need to hear something, kids-wise, all that good stuff. And welcome. So we had a little bit of a mishap on Wednesday. Go ahead and pull it up real quick. So MTSI, big little dinger. This was on Wednesday. Yesterday or Thursday and today we actually, so it was yesterday and today we actually took it a little easy. Today we actually made one paper trade, which was on BAM. And here was our trade on that. So we actually did really well on this one. There was really nothing special to it. It was actually a little bit of a slower mover. But we nailed the top, took out half our position here. We actually tried from this point to here. CMEG actually ran out of shares or just took the shares away because I actually tried to add right at 47.10 back because this was 100 shares. Took off 50, went to add 100 back right here. And sure enough, she made this descent. But we didn't get that add because they had taken the shares away. And so we just ended up we were looking for that key support line here. And so we took our shares there. And it was a good trade. Could have been a lot better, obviously, if we got that fill. Probably would have taken those shares off somewhere in here anyway. But we were pretty patient on this. And we actually had set a trailing stop on this of 20 cents. And it made its way all the way down to our fill at 70 cents. Or I think we had it at 71 cents. So, but that's not why we're here. Again, I made that was a paper trade. Just keeping my feet wet. These two trades yesterday were also the same thing, much smaller size. Took a big hit here, and I just wanted to, keep myself in the game, but on a much smaller scale, just to make sure that I wasn't going crazy with this loss. So, but which I'm not. I'm kind of over it. But as you can see, it was a very active trade. To pull up the chart, I have it here, and it's tough to look back at, especially when to give everyone the insight. She did eventually come back down, but we don't know this is going to happen. For all we know, she could have kept going this direction, and a lot of people tend to do that. I like to think I'm not one of them, where she made this, and sure, we had seen this pullback, but then say she starts going up, and from here, what if it's just like a nice slow grind that way? You don't know. So to see it in hindsight, of course, you can kick yourself, but that's not why we're here. So we are going to remove that. We're going to zoom in, and I actually want to bring up the video. That's why I had this up over here. And this is the raw footage and again, I record everything separately, so that way if I have to edit it, it's a lot easier. So like my camera, my microphone, that's sometimes you'll hear the kids in the background, sometimes you won't, because if they're really loud, the mic will pick it up, but a lot of times it won't. So I record everything separately, so if I have to edit something in and out, it's just a lot easier. So here was the raw footage from that day. I don't know why my button's not coming up down there. Oh, there it is. Okay. So if we scroll forward, we'll actually go to when I pull it up, and you can see it down there on the scanner. It was right around that 20 mark. And we were just scrolling through everything, and there it goes. It kind of beeped at us a little bit. We had already looked at everything else, and at this point, we're still just scrolling through, and I think sure enough, we see MTSI down there. We check blend, can't short it, and there we go. Pull up MTSI right off the scanner. Scanner did its job. It allowed us to pull the chart up. The chart is up, and now we're kind of watching it. So let's see what happens here at the very, obviously we're just probably looking for this 50 pop when we first pull the chart up. We're also seeing how it trades. Lower my share size, and I obviously had seen the spread. And I don't want to scroll too far forward. I know I take the trade pretty close to when I first pulled it up. I want to say I was waiting for the 50 pop, because I'm not far enough away from where I would have been looking for profit. This 1413 area, according to the chart, is where I would have been looking. So I would have been looking for this 50 pop. So I'm assuming we get it. I don't remember the first entry. Here we go. So this is probably where I'm looking for my first entry. And look how extended she looks now. So that's exactly what we're looking for. And I was thinking about trying to short the ask, as you can see my arrows there, because of the spread. But a lot of times, every time I try to short the ask, it never gets filled, because it'll start dropping down just like this. And I think this is probably where I take my first entry. I could check and see, but okay, so there it is. So at 59, and obviously we know that she doesn't work out for it. Okay, so it happens pretty quickly here. So she comes right back against us, and she decides to keep going. And as you can see, let's pause it real quick. So I can just hit spacebar. This was mistake number one. Mistake number one was I had just changed the setting. And if you notice, I took 200 shares because, I was trying to limit my risk here. I saw that the range was pretty decent. It also was, it's $15 stock, $15 stock. So obviously we weren't taking 300 shares. I actually debated on going to 150 in the moment, but decided to just stick with 200 because I was feeling confident. We were on a hot streak. We were doing really well. So, I was trying to scale up a little bit, 50 shares. So we had taken the 200. Well, as you can see, when I hit that order, it went right back to 300 shares. So the mistake is when I add here, it ends up putting me at 500 shares instead of 400 like I had thought. And so there we go. We get the add. And as usual, I usually will check to see what I got them at. So we got them at 82. And I then realized, crap, there it is. So I went back up to 300. But now I'm thinking, well, I'll try to take those 300 off, but I see she's still going against me. So now I got a lot of things running through my head because I made a mistake with the share size, and she looked like she might keep going over 15. What if she pops over 15? What do I add, for that last ad at this point? So I had a lot of things running through my head, all because I, made that one little simple change that it changed back to the default share size. This is all me. This is all me, guys. This whole trade is just me. Me. Because you'll see what happens here, where she decides to give us a flush, and we're in the money. We're in the green. We're actually getting the green quite a bit. And if you remember my rule is when I get an ad, I always look to take those shares off once it gives me 10 cents. And look, it already gave us that 10 cents. And do you see me taking them shares off? Nope. So there's mistake number one. But it was pure greed is what got us into the situation. But even so, the greed actually pays right here. Right here, I'm going to wait till it gets to the point where I remember it being, hold on, not yet. It comes down to 55, I think. Right there. Okay. This is the mistake. This is the biggest mistake ever. Okay, so I got a little greedy, but I was believing in the system. I was believing that we were going to get a crash, either back down to VWAP or at least, back down to here. But there's no way I'm holding all 500 shares down to here at this point, or even it should have been 400. There's no way I'm doing that. Should have already been out of those top shares. But right here, I'm greedy. It's all greed. I'm thinking, okay, she's going to break 1450 and she's going to give us a flush down to like 1430s, 1420s. And this is going to be a home run trade. This is going to be awesome. A $200 winner. It's in my head. That's all I'm thinking. It's like the rounder scene where, it's like all I'm thinking about is Vegas and the effing Mirage. But that's not what happens, as you can see, and worst case scenario, even with my strategy mishap with the shares and everything, I should have been taking half my position, 75% of my position. That's why these buttons are here. I should have been taking those 300 shares off, whether it was 200 or 300 at this point. They should have been coming off right here, no matter what, whether we get that break or not. But I was being greedy, and I wanted every single one of those 500 shares to go through 1450, and right there, right when you see this happen, look, the bid shot right, or the ask shot right up to 1467. That should have been note to, at least cover half. Like I should have been right on, which I was. I was on the buy button for those 300 shares. I should have hit it. But still, greed. I'm like, okay, maybe this is just that quick little bounce, and then we're going to pull right back down to 50 and try to break it. That's what's going through my head. And these are the new rules that are coming in because, and hi, Shirley. Hi, Susanna. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry, I'm like really focused on this. But if you guys have any questions or any comments or any insight, to this as we go along, feel free to chime in. But I should have taken those 300 shares right then and there. Once I realized it wasn't breaking 1450, there's no reason to chance this thing going against you with your full share size at this point, and that was a mistake. So as you can see, she's going to continue to go against us and not give us that pushback down. And right there, look at how quick that was. It went right to we're like that. Look at this. We went from up 100 to down 100 that quick. She jumped right back up there because we kept full share size. So this was pure greed, just misexecution, because if we would have took off those shares down here at 50, the 300 shares, we could have got out the rest here and we would have been green on the trade. Not only would we have been green, but it would have been, a decent winner because we would have just broke even on the last trades or last shares, and that would have been that. So very frustrating on just how this plays out. And I mean, honestly, the rest of this trade is just, I don't want to call it a deer in headlights. It's not. My strategy was to really, I wasn't following my strategy. This was a strategy I was making up as we were going along, but it was basically fighting it, trying to go round for round and, punch for punch, trying to go the full fight. And as you'll see, we'll scroll forward a little bit, we realized that, okay, she's still going. So we decided to take half our position there. And I'm pretty sure if we go back, I actually clicked that right as she went high day, but it just gave me that fill on the ask because that's what you get when it's a spready stock like this. And then sure enough, this was just it was a constant battle. I was going back and forth with hitting, the ask when she was going against me for the half shares. And then when I was trying to add them back, thinking that, I felt the top, I was hitting the bid. So, I'm losing 15 cents in between there, 15, 20 cents every time because the spread was just really bad, every time this was happening. And sure enough, she comes back down here and a little bit, should have took those top shares off. But at this point, I have that big number in the realized, and I'm, thinking, well, I want to make that back, so I'm going to hold the shares. And this is where the emotional trading comes into play, and this is why we should have never put ourselves in this position. So the rest of this trade is, to just break it down plain and simple, is me fighting the trade. I'll get to that in one sec, Susanna. Good question. The rest of this trade is me fighting it, which I'll show you. Just, I'll speed through it. But the trade should have been ended right here. This green arrow should have been the end of this trade until later, like putting it on pause and seeing, what she's going to do. But this should have been the end of the trade. Once she wasn't working after my ads, I should have got out of it and been done with it. So first mistake was obviously not taking the winner. Take what the market gives you. Don't be greedy. That was what got us into this position in the first place. So we went from a solid $100 or $100 winner, or even if it was $50 after commissions, fees, if we got a bad fill, whatever, it's a $50. That's been our quota for the day. So we're happy, right? But it turned into a 5 times max loss because we got greedy. I mean, these are the games we have to fix in our head. We have to reprogram ourselves to not let these things happen. And it's me. It's all me. And everyone needs to realize that it's me. And to answer your question, Susanna, I am doing these strategies based off of the scanner. As you can see here, my whole upper monitor is full of my scanners, which I don't have them up right now. But I'm basically just trading the chart. So we're looking for overextended moves, and that's the strategy. You're looking for the big parabolic moves, and then you look to short the tops of those moves and get those pullbacks. And sometimes you'll get a pullback and she'll keep coming all the way down, but I usually look for key resistance points or supports, sorry, they were resistance that, they're probably going to look to turn into support. So at this point, I'd be looking for this thing to curl back down and, come down and touch here. But every once in a while, you get the stocks like MTSI where they just decide to keep climbing, which, as you'll see, I can scroll forward a little bit. It's pretty much what she did. She never really gave us any pullbacks. She did give us a little one here, but again, at this point, we were looking for the big pullback because we wanted to make our money back. Because now, look at this number. It just keeps rising. We're fighting and we're fighting the whole way up, and the number just keeps going up. Every time she is going higher, we cut half our position, look to add it back later because we're still trying to just hit the top of this thing. And we did it the whole time. And we thought we were in it there. And I remember telling myself, as we're getting a little bit higher, she consolidated sideways. So we did it again. We cut it as she went above our entry and went high a day, looking to add it back if she ran some more. And we tried to get back in one last time. And I think, it did it again. So we're still fighting. We're taking off half. We added it back. It looked like she was coming back up. So it was a fight. We were fighting. And then right there, we added back. And I think that time she gave us the 10 cents. So we took it off there, looking to see if she would run again so we could add back. But then we added it back right there shortly after because it felt like, we were looking at the overall chart. Didn't feel like she was going up, so we were looking for that continuation down. And at this point, I told myself, if she wants to go high a day, I'm just done fighting, because I did the calculations off on another monitor, and it was $1,000 if she went high a day with the 500 shares that I had. And as you'll see, sure enough, she pushes us right out. And that was the top for the day. If we go back and look, this high a day break was, I guess I can click. So this high day break is where we got out, and sure enough, she went up to 1693, but then that was it for the day. She, but we can't look at that. It has no meaning to the strategy. And anyone can sit here and say, well, if I would have held it, you like that fresh cut? It's not that fresh, but I think it was from Monday. Avery, welcome to the house. But yeah, where the stock ends up, like I said, it could have kept going. We don't know what it's going to do. So some people, like to do the whole, just keep adding and eventually it'll come down. You shouldn't. That's how you lose your account. And that's how I almost lost my account, on Wednesday. So as you can see, look at all this fighting I did, and it all should have ended back here. So that's the big lesson to be learned. That's the rule that is now in place, that if for some stupid reason you disobey a rule, you should be cutting your trade right then and there anyway. So once I didn't take the 300 mistake shares off, that should have been 200 shares, I should have cut the whole thing. Once I realized that in my head, I should have been like, wait, I didn't follow a rule, I'm out, regardless of whether, it was still a small winner or, a decent loser, which would have been like $100. $100 is a lot better than 1,000. And it is what it is. And how many times do you see too where you'll get out of a trade like this and then she'll, topple over and give you the move that you were looking for? It happens. A lot of times you're going to get in these and they are going to do that for you, and you're going to, win correctly. So if you're doing that the 90% of the time, if that 10% of the time you get caught in these trades and you can learn to get out of them nice and early, you're a winner. Because, over the course of the 28 trade win streak that I was on, I was progressively getting, better at making my shares work for me. And I was getting, close to, $75, $80, $90, $100 a day. So if you're knocking down $100 a day, 9 out of 10 days, and then you have one day where you lose $100 or $200 because you had to cut a loser, so be it. You're going to you do the math, it's that simple. But if you're going to make $100 a day, 9 days in a row, and then lose 1,000 on that 10th day, do the math. It sucks. Really salute you for being able to trade and edit these videos while being a stay-at-home dad. Kids can really distract you sometimes, but you seem to be able to manage your focus very well. When you're passionate about something, it's a lot easier to do something when you're passionate about it. And trading and just making the videos. The videos part, I'm not so passionate about, but it's fun. Like, I find it fun. It's something new. It's something exciting. I have the green screen behind me. There's a lot of things I don't show you guys, obviously, but I do some fun things with the kids with the green screen. It all has its perks, and kids are awesome. Kevin will find that out soon. Just pull a Frozen. I don't get the reference. I've seen the movie a few times, but I don't get the reference. Oh, that's not even Kevin Avery. That's Garage Day Trader. Hold on. Hey, Justin. Oh, no. Also, B hasn't upped his game yet, so I just went ahead and, made my own. Yeah, it's not sticking. There we go. Oh, I love it. Let it go. I am letting it go. That's the whole point of this. Just going over it. We're learning from it. Trying to figure out any mistakes. Screenshot. You like it? Yeah, take the screenshot. I don't know why the chroma key is not liking it. It's not green. It's white. But no, yep. That's why we're here. I just wanted to go over it and kind of take one last look at it, get it out of my system. See what I did wrong, and to me, it's clear as day in hindsight. You just have to really realize what you're doing in the moment, and that's the thing. You gotta figure out. I mean, I've never taken. I mean, this reminds me of someone with all these orders. It was 17 tickets total. That's crazy. I can't ever imagine taking 17 tickets in a day. Maybe I'll hit that $650 in commissions this month. Maybe I'll get my platform fee paid for. But yeah, so it really comes down to just realizing when you're in a loser. You gotta accept it sometimes, and I'm getting there. That was the first one I really had to deal with the new strategy, so I didn't handle it well. And the market never was forgiving about it either. They made sure to let me know that I screwed up. But like I said, there were so many hints that I should have got out. The greed, the share size mishap. There were so many things, and at that point, going the direction that I did with just taking half of my shares instead of actually taking off the 300 and getting back to my original 200. Like, what was I thinking there? That really didn't make any sense. But when you're caught in a loser, you apparently throw a lot of rules out the window, and it becomes very emotional. So if anyone wanted to tell me, a week ago that my emotions weren't in check, I would have been like, I think they are, but they weren't. But I'm really just going to leave it at that, guys. I wasn't really planning on making this one long. I just wanted to go over the trade. It was more of I wasn't really looking to make it interactive per se. It was just, instead of me making my video today, I figured I would just go over MTSI. I don't necessarily have anything else to go over. I just need to learn. Everyone's learning. You should always be learning. I've been doing this since August, so still less than a year. Always trying to follow my boys, advice. We got good old Garage Day Trader. I'm always following him. I missed him. That I blame him. He was off that whole week last week. It really threw me off my game. So, but he was on a green note this week, so congrats. Yeah, jealous. Let's see who else we got. We got Kevin Avery. I think he did really well today. Let's see. Yeah, live day trading. Oh, look, you're on the different you're on my TV. I'm really trying to go on the big screen. Look at you, 54. Nice. Jealous. I'm just trying to make something of nothing in here. I'm really just gonna leave it at that. I actually have to wake up early. I have a triple header tomorrow, umpiring. I got to make that money back somehow. But anyone have any questions? I'll ask real quick, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, you guys can somewhat learn from that. Let me pull up. I don't know. I was looking for the chart one more time. I had pulled it away. I X'd out of it by accident. Yeah. I mean, again, we got that flush. There was really no reason not to take off the whole trade there at that point, to be honest. But greed. It was all greed. Don't let greed get to you. I have them written down on the little sticky notes here, what I've learned from this trade. The main two things were greed, learning when you're in the loser, and to cut full position. There's no reason to reduce, especially when when you look at the chart. It was only the second green bar. She wasn't super extended. Now, if this was like the third or fourth green bar, it might be different. Like if she decided to keep running, because then it would still be like super extended. But at this point, she wasn't really that extended, and I think that was something I didn't really read in the moment as well. I just saw the quick move. And then the spread, when you see these lower volume, and, this one wasn't super low volume. It met my criteria per se with volume, but the spread, it was a killer spread. Anytime you realize you're in something like that, you should just take what you can get, because as you can see, it went from up 100 to down 100 in a matter of seconds. And when that happens, you kind of get caught and you're like, all right, well, what do I do? And that's not the situation you want to be in. So stick to your rules, guys. You make rules for a reason. They're there, as one of my good buddies, V, he'll tell you. The rules are there to keep you from making the mistakes. You can be a dumb person like V is, and as long as you follow the rules that you implement, you can be a good trader. But with that said, guys, hopefully you get something out of this. This was more of a farewell to MTSI, the trade itself. I will be looking to revenge trade this thing one day when it gives me the opportunity. Just kidding, not going to revenge trade, but if it gives me an opportunity, I will obviously trade it. I see many day traders working with whole number share sizes and aiming for profit in cents. Is there a reason you personally trade based on that and not percentage profit targets? This is actually a really good question, and I have a friend of mine who is trying to learn how to trade who is all about the percentages, and it is a valid point. And to be honest, to just be as straight up as I can be about the question in general, is because in the moment it's really hard to do the calculations based off. I mean, you could set hotkeys, I guess, to do it, and it could be something to look into, as far as just setting calculated risk. But it's more of just a way of trading, I guess. Everyone has their own style of trading, and to me, I feel like this has just been a little bit more comfortable for me. Because I can kind of just pull up a chart. I can look at the range that she's moving. Like at this point, I had seen that she moved pretty much a whole point at this point. So I am kind of judging my share size based off of that. And at this, like I said, for 200 shares on this normally probably would have been 100, 150 when I saw this type of range. But again, we were feeling confident. We tried to up our share size. And of course, we picked the wrong stock to do it on in hindsight. But that is what it is. And I wasn't P&L trading, and that was the other problem. I know it sounded like I was, because I said I was looking for the $0.50 break, but I was looking for the $0.50 break on a technical level, but that transforms into the greed. In hindsight, I'm looking at the P&L because I can see it on my screen, but in the trade, I don't look at my P&L. I'm usually looking at time and sales, like the level 1, and I'm looking at the chart. I'm seeing how the chart looks, and then I'm looking at time and sales to see how it's trading, which obviously is kind of the same thing as looking at the chart. And then I'm just kind of looking at level 1 to, just see what the spread is as far as the price moving. Yeah, go for it. You can ask as many questions as you want. That's why I'm here. I don't use level 2. It's actually there. Unfortunately, with CMEG, I haven't run into the problem. I just started trading with them, but I know on SureTrader it was actually an option, so I didn't actually have to pay for it. But I'm curious if CMEG's going to try to charge me for it, because I had asked them not to, put it on there, but even though it is there, but I don't use it. And the reason I don't, if you're going to ask the reason why I don't use it, it's because I just feel like it's a lot of false information. I know you can see buyer walls and seller walls and all that good stuff, but I've found that sometimes they will, and honestly, it was like 3 trades in a row, to be honest, back when I did use level 2, using this strategy, where it would come down to, say, that $half mark, and you would see a ton of orders at like 49, 48, 47, like big numbers. So you would see people start, buying it up. And sure enough, you would get like a little pop to, say, like 55. And this is one without like a huge spread. And then all of a sudden you would just see it just plummet right through 50. And it really started to make me realize that a lot of those orders were just props. It's like props on the movie set. They're there, but they're fake. And it really kind of just made me get away from level 2, because I realized that it was a lot of, people just trying to manipulate the stock without actually playing. I mean, I'm sure they're playing in the stock, but they're trying to fake you out, per se. So if I'm playing the chart and I'm playing the price action on the chart, then there's really no need for level 2, because I'm expecting this thing to go to certain areas. I'm looking to get in, and then I'm looking to get out at certain areas. So it's really as simple as that. And it's the time and sales is really what I read the most, because that is the actual orders that are going through, and you can really kind of feel by looking at the chart and reading the time and sales when it's going to, top out / hit a bottom. Like the trade today on BAM. Let me pull up bigger. So I keep trying to zoom in. Let's see. Can I zoom in? Yeah, there we go. So if you look at this, this is obviously with no level 2, but most of my charts look like this. You'll see where I get in towards the top, because I felt on time and sales that she was kind of stalling out. And a lot of times before you get this bounce, I'm pretty good at covering at the bottom of those bounces, because you can kind of just see it stall out. Okay, she doesn't want to keep going. You take your shares. I tried to add back in here when I realized, and this is that sloppy seconds play that I have been incorporating. And I kind of just put a trailing stop, because I was looking for it to hit here, but it was a pretty slow mover. But I didn't want to get faked out along the way, and I usually would have. I probably would have taken my shares somewhere in here originally when I saw her go back over 47. But I kept that. I put a 20-cent trailing stop on it once she got 20 cents from my entry. And sure enough, she just kept on coming, and I put in a fill order right where I had wanted it, and sure enough, it got filled. So I really did enjoy using the trailing stop on that, and I just don't really think level 2 is necessary. It doesn't really accomplish too much in my eyes, except for a lot of fake orders. That's why I always say time and sales, because time and sales is somewhat level 2 in a way, but you're seeing the actual orders that go through, not what could be. So hopefully that answers your question. Why do you not use Chrome? This is Chrome. This is Google Chrome. See? Yes, Susanna, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope that you're somewhat learning from my channel. Like I said, the channel is more so just a journal for myself, but I'm always here to help. I would love to help people along my journey. So I'm here to answer any questions the best that I can. Like I said, I'm not a pro trader by any means, as you can see, but that's why we're here. I'm here to show the ins and outs of a real trader, not just the glam and glory and Lamborghinis and big houses and all that good stuff. You get to see the ins and outs of what I go through on a daily basis. So, and then as you can see, it affected I wouldn't say it affected my trading yesterday and today, but it affected it to the point where it made me downsize and really kind of realize that the market humbled me a little bit, made me realize, okay, maybe I wasn't reading charts as well as I was, but that has nothing to do with it. I read this fine. This should have been a winner. This was my mistake. This was on me. Should have cut it right here since I didn't take the win. And sure enough, I just fought this thing the rest of the way, and this was all me. Just tons of mistakes up in here trying to fight it. This just looks stupid. Looking back at this, it just looks stupid. The only really good cut after the mistake in the beginning was this one. Just realizing that, okay, she was coming down. If she wasn't going to come down here and she was going to go, she was obviously going to go. So making this cut here was good. It just sucks that it did happen to be the top right after that. But again, you don't know that's going to be the top. She could have went over 17, and then she could have kept going all the way to 18, and she could still be up there to this day. So you don't know those things, and that's why you can't trade in hindsight. So Blake, did I answer your question? I mean, I am using Chrome if that's what you. I'm good. Don't hate on me. I do use Chrome. It's my Coke sponsorship right there. I feel like I'd be good. Coke, if you're watching. But if nobody has any other questions, it's telling me I have a poor connection and I can't, or let me see if I hit live. Okay, so it's still there. But if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll go ahead and get out of here. Am I really that far behind? It still says I'm like all the way back there. Oh no, there we go. Okay, I had to hit live. 3 a.m. Where are you at? That's pretty early in the morning. So you're ahead of me. So you're in Europe somewhere? My stream ends when you guys are done asking questions. So Portugal, awesome. I've never been there, but I have an old acquaintance of mine that has been there quite a few times. She went there for archaeological purposes. And yeah, she had lots of pictures, and it was really a beautiful area that she was in. I'm not sure if the whole country looks that way. But again, thank you for tuning in. Feel free to leave comments on any of the videos throughout the week with questions or anything. Always happy to answer them. Really bad at selling my page. Also really bad at selling the scanners. The scanners are awesome, by the way. You should look into them, which I will be doing a giveaway soon. So for you 4 viewers that are watching, I think I'm one of them because I have this open. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So maybe it's only 3 of you. But I will be doing a giveaway for when we hit 200 subscribers on YouTube, which we are at 169. So we're getting there. I feel like we just did our 100 subscriber giveaway, and we're already at 169, so that's pretty awesome. So once we get those 31 more subs, we'll be doing a giveaway for another free week of the scanners along with the chat. So you guys can follow me, Garage Day Trader, Kevin Avery, and there's a couple other guys. The main guy, Brian, in there, he's my mentor at this point. Also another guy, Vic, he's in there. He is top-notch as well. These guys know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a while. Some of the charts that they show you on a daily basis are just amazing. Let me just show you what else would come with it. You guys would get this learning center. Login expired. You guys are going to see my personal email address for a second, but it's all good. I think it typed it twice there for whatever reason. I don't know if that. Oh, cool. All right. So you would get. Obviously, you would get the scanners, the downloadable scanners. Where? This is not. Oh, there it is. I was like, where's the Learning Center? It looks like he may change that a little bit. So in the Learning Center, you guys will get all of this. It's just a ton of information. I don't want to go into it too much, but he has videos of him trading and showing you how each and every one of the setups that he uses works. He has a bunch of information on each of them step by step, as you can see on those. He also has the team meeting archives where he has like nice long sessions about specific topics that he just absolutely nails. I've listened to all of them probably 3 or 4 times at this point. It's just endless information. Just everything from emotional controls, which I probably should go back this weekend and go through everything in there. Just, buy fear, sell euphoria. That's what he'll tell you all day. It's really that simple. But, just going into Intensity 101 real quick, it can show you just this, how pretty much easy this can be with the scanners. I mean, the scanners are ideal to give you the move. It's to get you to pull up the chart. You can kind of figure out your way of feeling the top and then look for these things to retrace back down. And a lot of the charts look just like this, guys. Sometimes they'll come back up, and give you that sloppy seconds, which in most cases I found that they do. But every once in a while you even get ones that look like this. And these are the 90% guys. The ones that come, and do this, these are the 90%. It's that 10% are the MTSIs that you have to learn how to manage your risk on those. And if you can do that, then you're golden, because if you're hitting these 90% of the time and you learn how to get max dollars out of these, that's where it's at. Speaking of, I guess I'll just say it's Brian. Welcome. We already went over MTSI. We're done and over with that. We're just kind of going over what the giveaway at 200 subs is going to be for the free week, as well as the chat rooms and the learning center. And yeah, if you have anything to add on that, I was just showing them all the cool stuff that they'll get to go through, as far as all the strategies that we that mainly you imply on a daily basis. I'm kind of focused on one, and I'm trying to master that one strategy to start. Oh, you're fine. It's actually early where you are, huh? Yeah. Brian was actually in that trade with me. I believe he actually decided to make it his BITCH, and I was not. But I know that it was not an easy trade, as we all would like to say. You want to try to find the easy trades, and right here, cutting losses step by step. You should I need to look into that one this weekend as well, because that is definitely what I didn't do. Right there. I'm going to remember that, and I did have an order there, but it was only for half my shares, with all the mistakes I had made in the beginning there, the share size mistake, not taking my profits, not even taking half, my shares off like I normally would have. Once I realized that's 3 mistakes within a matter of a minute, or actually it was more like 35 seconds, that I should have realized, okay, I'm breaking 2 or 3 rules right off the bat. I need to just get out of this trade. It's a bad trade regardless of whether it's red or green. And once it started going red against me, that should have been, ding, 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 get out. And guess what? I didn't, and I paid for it. So that one is on me, and I'm learning from it, and that's that. I'll give Brian the old... But again, guys, I'll leave it with, like I said, we're going to shoot for 200. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I think I'm just going to make sure you guys are subscribed on YouTube, and follow me on Twitter. And as long as you are there, and I think I'm going to make a video about the giveaway, just kind of going over the scanners in general, and then announce the giveaway there officially. You guys are first to hear it here. And once we get to that 200 mark, we'll go ahead and do the giveaway. So I'm not looking for subscribers, but I'm just trying to keep milestones as, the catalyst, I guess, for such a awesome giveaway, because it's not something that should be taken lightly. A week of these scanners could change your life. You could kind of be in limbo like I was, and then, have the graciousness of these scanners come upon you and just change you, and realize that it doesn't have to be as hard as you think it is. A lot of it's screen time, but a lot of it is the tools that you use and implement on a daily basis. And I'm not going to lie to you that you could literally sit down at your computer at 9:25, load everything up, and load the scanners up, and that's all you need. I mean, you can literally count on these scanners to just give you the plays. and 9:30 to about 10:15, 10:30, the thing's giving you plays all morning. Obviously there's going to be down days, but even on those down days you're going to get opportunity. And if you have a strategy set in place, you know exactly what you're doing with that strategy, and you have risk management, you got to have everything else in place. These scanners will provide you the plays, and it's up to you to figure out how to play them and take your money out of the market. So with that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, I have to wake up early. I'm gonna go take my melatonin and attempt to pass out. I have to be up in about 7 hours. I got a nice triple header tomorrow, and I'm doing the first 2 behind the plate, so gotta be there mentally for that. And like I said, subscribe. Once we get there, we're going to do the giveaway for the free week. It comes with the chat room as well as the learning center. And guys, this learning center is, just everything. I mean, you can get lost in this. Even if you don't come in the chat room or even trade it all for the week that you get, if you just spent a week in here, I mean, that's just for free. I mean, this is like what people pay, some of these gurus on YouTube, thousands for, guys. I mean, that's what this is. I mean, this is somebody's future just waiting to be found. It really is. It's that valuable. And I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just telling you the truth. If you guys know me by now, I don't sell. I tell you the blunt, honest truth. And I've never been more excited I'm in here at least 2-3 times a week, just, and I get lost for hours. I'm always, and you can ask Brian. I was asking, I couldn't find something that I had remembered watching, and it took me, it took me hours to find it, but I sat there, and the reason it took me hours is because I didn't stop and keep searching everything and skimming through it. I would just start watching other things, and I get lost in it because it's everything's like, oh yeah, I remember this. Let me watch it again so I can really, hone in on that skill, and let me see if maybe I'm missing something that I wasn't implementing, into my trading already. And, there's always something. You think that you might have a strategy down, and perfected, but there's always going to be that time, like MTSI, where it comes along and you think you have a plan to, get out of a trade when something goes awry. But as you can see, it still gets you. It still gets you. And that could be emotional controls. There's always part of, whether it's your strategy, whether it's you, whether, it's a distraction, the kids, needing to go to the bathroom. And I've been told several times to just buy a plant so they can just go into the plant. So I'm working on that. Maybe my wife will give me a Mother's Day gift because, Mother's Day is for me since, I'm the stay-at-home mom. But okay, I've rambled long enough. I will talk to you guys on Monday. Hope you have a good weekend. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't already. Hope you guys appreciate the content. I always appreciate the support. It's been there since day one. I can't believe we're already at 169 subscribers. That's crazy. I've only been doing this since, I think, the end of January. So thank you guys for that. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know. You can leave them here. You can leave them on any of the videos as you see them throughout the week. Hopefully, I might make a video on Sunday, like Sunday night, something a little bit more educational. Obviously, don't have something in mind, but I'm looking to put out some more educational videos like I was in the past on the weekends. And I just, always looking to learn. So if you guys have anything that you think I'm missing, if you think you're missing something and you want the honest truth about how I think it is, let me know. I'll let you know. And if we both don't know, we'll learn it together, because that's the whole point of this. We're here to learn together and move forward, and we all want to be successful. So Brian, you have a great weekend as well. Everyone else that's watching, you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys either Sunday or on Monday. And I'll give you the piece, but it's going to be a slow exit to the streaming because I still haven't figured out which thing to hit first. But peace.